People living in California illegally have been barred from getting a driver's license here since 1993. That's about to change with the state's legislature approval of AB 60 and Governor Brown's promise to sign it into law. San Diego Assemblymember Lorena Gonzalez and Andrea Guerrero, Executive Director for Alliance San Diego, join me for a closer look at this bill's implications. Welcome.
Thank you.
Lorena, once Governor Brown signs AB 60, which he has promised to do, into law, how would it logistically work here?
Well, we will return to the days before 1993 when anyone can go in, as long as they have some form of identification to prove who they are, can go into the DMV and get a license. Now, if they don't have a social security number, they will not be able to get a license. It'll be very minutely different. Basically, instead of the DL before your number, it'll say DP, a driving privilege. And on the back, it'll clarify that it's just for driving.
And that DP, that difference, instead of DL, what is the purpose behind that?
That is in order to conform, at least the governor's position was, he wanted to ensure that we're conforming with the federal Real ID Act that was passed in 2005. Of course, after 9/11, there were a lot of bills put forward to control, I guess, how states issued licenses and IDs. So the governor said he wouldn't sign it unless that provision was adhered to. And so at the last minute, we gave in to do it.
Well, and that DP is actually identifies the holder of that license as somebody who's in this state illegally? It
identifies them as somebody who cannot get a driver's license. Instead, they have a driver's privilege.
Driver's privilege. Andrea, I know immigrants and some groups, I know of some that have been pushing for driver's license privileges for quite some time. How come there's groups right now not happy with this?
Well, we and many other groups are interested in driver's licenses for all drivers on the road. We want drivers to be trained, we want them to know the rules of the road, and we want them to have insurance. What we are concerned about is that they have a marked license. Driving has nothing to do with immigration status, and until 20 years ago, we didn't bother to conflate the two. Now we have. Immigration has politicized driver's licenses, we've marked licenses, and we feel that that is not consistent with our shared values of dignity and respect in this country.
And Lorena, let's build on this a little bit. The bill prohibits housing and employment discrimination for people using this license. How would that be enforced?
Well, you know, that's going to be the question, right? I guess if somebody's discriminated upon, they could take it to court. It's not a perfect bill. I think we all recognize that. And we've been fighting for driver's licenses for 17 years. And it was a heartbreaking decision to make to not have the perfect license. However, I think that in the balance of things, when we started hearing from people who they just want to be able to drive, to get their kids to school, to go to work, to continue to not have to worry about their car being impounded, about, you know, having to pay fees and fines for driving without a license. 1 in 8 Californians right now are unlicensed. And they're driving, they're still driving.
And you need it to be insured.
And to be insured, absolutely. And that's what we want people to be able to be as law-abiding as possible. Now, the provisions to protect them from discrimination, I would like them to be stronger. And that's something I think we're going to work on together to see if there's more we can do.
Well, Andrea, at this point, with these provisions in place, would you recommend that people not get this license?
That's an individual choice. People need to weigh how important it is for them to have that license to be on the road. What we hope people do is understand that the license does not protect them against immigration enforcement, that the protections in the bill do not govern the actions of federal immigration agents. And if somebody who sees your license decides that they, rightly or wrongly, want to call Border Patrol, there's nothing that would prohibit Border Patrol from coming to detain you and deport you. And so we want the community to exercise caution and understand that if they do get a license, that they only use it for driving and insurance, and they are very cautious about showing it to anyone else, because in order to get that license, they have to attest to the fact that they are unauthorized immigrants in this country.
So no showing it at bars, use a different form of ID
That's
for
right.
work,
Right.
for whatever else they need. Okay.
That's right.
Lorena, just on the logistics once again, how long, once the governor signs this bill, how long before people can apply to do the license, and how do they do it?
Well, some of that's going to have to be worked out. Obviously, we hope this will go into effect January 1st. There's 1.4 million Californians that this could affect, and so there's going to be obviously a need to ramp up some of our DMV city staff and make sure that people are in place to do it. So early next year, we'll see how this works out. Unless, of course, we can have some sort of federal relief and some sort of federal immigration reform, because when it comes down to it, this is about really saying we've had enough with Congress not acting. We've got to start putting some protections in place, but Congress needs to do their job and pass federal immigration reform.
Okay, whole other interview. We're going to have to end it there. Assemblymember Lorena Gonzalez and Alliance San Diego's Andrea Guerrero, thank you so much.
Thank you.